Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in today to AvidMax Tying Tuesdays. Today's fly is the Caddis. So we're going to start this hook on a dry fly hook that's probably pretty familiar if you've seen me tie any dry flies in the past. This is the 102Y. I'm doing a size 13 today. These all come in odd sizes. Then we're going to use for the tail, or actually what is the shuck of the fly. This is kind of an emerging caddis. We're going to use some sparkle emerger yarn, and I'm using the cream today, which matches up nicely with the light Cahill superfine dubbing that we're going to use for the main body of the fly. Then our wing is going to be a little bit of Comparadun deer hair, and we're using a Danville 140 in tan for our thread today. So we're just going to start our thread right on our hook shank here and work our way back slowly before we clip out our tag in, and then we'll prepare to tie in the tail, which is actually going to be the shuck, the spent shuck of the caddis fly coming off of this. So we'll just tie that right in on top here and make sure it's set in place as we cover it on up, working backward. And we're just going to go right to that hook bend, and then we can figure out how long we want that to be. Go one more back. So all I do is I'll pull it forward, and I'm going to clip right in front of where the hook eye is. So I'm just going to make it just a little bit longer than the hook shank by doing that. From there, pretty quick and easy. Just going to take some of our superfine dubbing, the light Cahill. Makes for a nice tan caddis variation. You can do some other color combinations of this fly. Olives, tans, browns, whatever you're trying to imitate. It's a great all-around pattern that can be kind of adjusted slightly to match something different. Make sure I got the taper that I want here before I get too far ahead of myself. We'll start the dubbing right on the back and work our way forward here. Just slowly building as we go. Pretty simple fly. You can whip out a good dozen of these pretty quickly and be ready to go. If you got a lot of caddis activity, some good emergence, this is a good pattern to have in your box. And we're going to work almost all the way up to the hook eye there to where we're going to tie in our final material. A little bit more. There we are, that ought to do it. So now I'm just going to kind of create a little thread base here for what I'm going to set my deer hair on. All right, so now that we're up towards that hook eye, we're ready to tie our hair in. So we're just going to take that, put it in our stacker here. I'm using the Umpqua Dreamstream stacker today. And we're using a little bit of Comparadun hair. So this is a super fine hair. Got our tips aligned. Actually, I'm going to do that one more time. So we got our tips aligned there nicely. I'm just going to measure out right about that hook shank for the length of my wing, maybe a little bit past. And we'll transfer that into my other fingers there so that I have the tie-in point ready. From there, I'm going to trim out the material just to kind of where I want my head to be. And that way I can avoid having to do it after it's tied in. I feel like I get a nicer, clean look when I do it ahead of time. So we'll give our bobbin a spin so that the thread goes the way I want it to. And we're going to do just a couple of quick loose wraps before we pull down on our bobbin straight down to get that hair to flare out for us. Once we got it flaring, we'll do a couple of quick tight wraps, and then you can release your bobbin and your hair, and everything's set nicely in place there. So from there, I'm gonna just kind of pull this hair up and back a little bit, and I'm gonna come through and just bite into it a couple of times. And all that's gonna do is keep it from spinning around on the hook shank. Help to make sure everything's nice and secure in place there. And just make sure we're not crowding our hook eye too badly here. And then we can come in with our whip finish. And finish her off. Clip out our thread. And there is a completed Caddis. Actually, I'm going to come in and just shorten up this a little bit, and I'm going to kind of thin it out as well and kind of make it a little bit more sparse for the shuck, the tail material on this fly. Just kind of a preference in how I like mine to look there. But there's a completed Caddis for you. Great little dry fly pattern if you got a fresh emergence of Caddis. If you enjoyed the video today, make sure to give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see us tie in the future, please drop us a comment in the lines below. For more fly fishing and outdoor related videos, be sure to subscribe to the AvidMax YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.